Yeah. Hopefully I'll have enough time next time to have it fixed up.
Well, look, we don't have to be perfect, do we? We're just
No, this is an improvement from where we were. Actually, the first time I think I did this with you, I think I had my other podcast logo on there, and I had to like scramble to get it off. So
we're improving. This is the whole point of life, isn't it?
yeah, I didn't want to have that mask on for us
So
when.
why is it now coming up with "Would you like some feedback?" question mark?
Because that was the topic of my conversation this morning with Karen, and I pushed the wrong button. So
Awesome.
look, I'm doing amazing.
When we drop the masks.
That's what we're talking about today.
Oh, good to know we've got it all together.
Yeah, I apologize.
It's fine. It's cool. Just
I'm learning. I'm
Yes.
learning. So
Very cool.
this is your baby. This is your animal. What's this all about?
I'd like to think that everyone relates to this, but yes, I did initiate the masks thing because, as you will recall, the last time we officially met online like this and do a live stream, it was before I was going to my big convention, and we did the topic of wearing masks, something like that, or the mask.
Well, apparently it was well received. So I think other people can relate to maybe not showing up like themselves all of the time.
Yeah, and I know that when we chatted about that, it was part joking, but I kind of went, maybe it'd be good to reveal what happened when at convention, and maybe something happened to the masks.
Well, let's hear it.
All right. So, I mean, that conversation was really good for me because it brought to my attention what I wanted to pay attention to, like whether I wanted to choose to have a mask or not to have a mask, and how I was going to manage that, and what my intentions were going to be. So I set this very strong intention. I arrived up in Cairns like 3 days before the convention started. So I sort of got there, and then we had some extra events and things on for the official board members and whatever. But for the convention itself, I wanted to set this really strong intention. So when I landed in the space, I was like, okay, what do I want to do here? And I set the intention to be able to receive. And I think that links back to what we talked about. Mind you, that was a number of weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure that was what we touched on in that previous conversation around this. But that was my intention. I want to be able to receive. And when I say that, I mean properly receive, like being really present and receiving what someone might say to me. As a reminder, this convention, one of my biggest moments in this convention was receiving the highest designation. It's called CSP. It stands for Certified Speaking Professional. And so this is a big moment. There are a number of other people also receiving their CSP, and they even set it up where you receive your medal, and then for the next 3 days, you wear it everywhere.
Wow.
Which encourages...
You have to own it a little bit.
You do. And it encourages others to come up and say congratulations or ask about it or whatever they want to do. But you've like got this massive shiny gold thing hanging around your neck.
Can't miss it.
It's not hidden. So that's what it was for the convention. So I was like, right, well, what do I want to do with that? Because I could do the, oh, really? Oh, thank you. And kind of do that dismissive.
Yeah, where you kind of blow it off and don't take it in.
Or I could be really present. So I went, okay, intention set. So I got to the Friday, and I had the presentation was going to be on the Saturday. So I was having a chat with friends on the night before, and was like, oh, I'm still feeling a bit of that imposter. Like, really, am I really getting this? Like, I'm one of the people that are going to be up on the stage. There's 23 other people going to be up on the stage, and okay, all right. And he's like, Chris, you got to remember who's issued this. If they didn't want to issue it to you, would they? I'm like, no. Okay. So it's like getting convinced by my husband. Good to have supportive husbands. But my brain hadn't really completely locked into that this moment was going to be really appropriate for me. So I know that when I walked in on Saturday morning, I still had this bit of I'm kind of pretending that it's okay for me to be here. And even standing.
So in doing that, are you not keeping a mask on at that point?
Absolutely keeping the mask on at that point, because other people can see that I qualified for this designation. I am personally putting a mask on, but I'm not quite good enough yet. I don't know if I deserve this. There's all of that that's going on. And that to me is a mask that is not showing it's not me acknowledging what others are saying. So I'm still hiding away from what others see. So I was standing in line because there were 24 of us, 23 of us. So we were all sort of standing the length of the audience, so that as our name got called up, we would move up to the front of the stage. We had 1 minute to say a thank you and then line up again across the stage. I was number 14 in the line just because my surname starts with W.
In the middle.
And I'm standing there and I'm listening to every single person go before me and hear what they're saying as their 1 minute thank you. And the first few, I was like, oh, how do you even follow that? That's so good. Because I still had that voice going on. And then it got to about number 10. So I was like 4 away now, right? And I'm like, oh, Chris, just stop it. That's all I said to myself. And the nerves settled. I knew what I wanted to say. I knew what message I wanted to share. And I wanted to make sure it was really clear. So for me to do that, I had to be really present and centered. Funny that.
That's what I just wrote down. Centered and grounded.
I walked up on stage. I received my medal. I still remember the person that gave it to me and what that felt like, and that the medal had actually been put around. You know how a medal hangs a particular way? It had sort of been put on backwards, so it had the PSA logo on the thing instead of the CSP. But I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I was really present with everything that occurred. It didn't disappear out of my memory. I could play out all of those steps. I stood and I said my 1 minute and I got audience interaction. That wasn't the significant moment. Other people came up after me. We were all standing on stage. We applauded them all, did all of the things. And then what happens is all previous people who have received their CSP designation all form an archway, which went the length of the room. And then the new CSP receivers, we then go through that archway. Now, to do that, we have to kind of bend down and run through the archway. It's not very dignified, but it's entertaining. And what also happened is that people patted from that archway. I mean, it's a long archway. There were over 100 CSPs in that room. So you've got at least 50 people, doing an arch. Well, 100 people, so 50 people down the line. People were patting me on the back, saying, congratulations, this is so well deserved. Thanks for your service. All these comments. And when I got to the end of that archway, I went, I felt this level of acceptance. I heard them all. And what made the difference is that I didn't know who said it to me.
Why did that change things?
Yeah, it was the community acceptance. it was a welcoming in without it being an individual. So it wasn't one individual that said, yes, you've got the tick. It was a group. It was and that allowed me to go, and I've arrived. It was this really magical, the community accepted this. And from that point on, I remember every single individual who came up to me. I had a proper conversation with them. I didn't have to pretend that I was either qualified or not qualified or nothing. I could just stand in who I was, and it was okay. I no longer had to prove that I was or wasn't.
No more pretending.
No, there was no more pretending. And that to me says that the mask came off. I wasn't showing up because someone said that I should show up in that particular way, or that I am yet to show up properly, or anything. There was just this level of acceptance. And that was the whole message of the weekend for me, was acceptance. I'd accepted things, others were accepting me. I was having conversations, people were approaching me, and some of those conversations, because there'd been a few glitches in the matrix with the whole run of the convention. So not all of those conversations were all pleasant, because people were like, oh, this isn't fair, this happened to me and I want this fixed and whatever. So there were some conversations as a national board member that you just have to have. They're a little bit conflicting or a little bit confrontational, not overly, but people are having a complaint and you got to handle it. But there was this level of acceptance and engagement with people that just played out for the rest of the time. And it was amazing.
The thought that I have is that because you had dropped your veil, mask, whatever, that allowed the possibility for it to be that way for your whole experience there.
Yes, completely. And so then I've had people, come and tap me on the shoulder and say, oh, whenever you're in this region in the world, make sure you come and you contact us and we'll be able to show you around for a day. And like all these magical things happened that if I didn't step into acceptance, they might have said those words, but I wouldn't have heard them.
No.
So it just opened up a whole range of opportunity that otherwise I would have been closed to.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wanted to share that today, because we often I put a mask on because I'm afraid of what others will think. And it's usually individuals. But this event showed me that it's the individual isn't where that's my interpretation of whether an individual accepts me or not. It was really powerful having a group do that acceptance and me go, right, excellent, now I've arrived. And what if we showed up like that every day?
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of have been wondering something similar on that train of thought, because what I've been going through the last seems like forever now, probably on some level for like 7 years. It's a long time to have a mask on. So in this scenario, I have some permitting issues in my house, and I want to do another project that requires another permit. So and it's weird because all the TV shows that I've been gravitating to watch lately, and I've been rewatching Suits. You know Suits?
I've heard of it.
It's all about like covering up your lie and going deeper and getting deeper into it. And you're like, I now understand how criminals become criminals from like, I can't get out. Like I'm in too deep. So you keep doing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So for me, if I want to have my third project be a successful project and be above board, I need to go and rectify the other ones. So
you don't keep digging the same hole.
because I would just be hiding more and hiding more and hiding more. And there seems to be more complications coming up that are tied to that. So I just need to resolve it. And I've been humming and hawing and dragging my feet on these things for a while. But when I made the decision a few weeks ago that this is what I wanted to do, things I should do, now I know I want to do it, and I've started actually expressing it to other people. I've had to drop the mask in order to do that. So because the mask before would have been of trying to save face and not look stupid and not
have done the wrong thing potentially or whatever,
not wanting to get in trouble. Like I could name the mask 30 different things, but it's still there. It's still not being me being me throughout. So when I finally I reached out via email to somebody to get the ball rolling, I'm not necessarily convinced that's the right way to go, but that allowed me then to open up to somebody else. Like I had kind of like an inspiration, like, oh, this person, I could ask him, maybe he could help specifically. So I brought it up last night, and he's basically talked me off the ledge. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't like share what was going on and what I wanted to accomplish. And it looks like I can probably work with him to resolve a lot of this stuff. So
great. That probably is going to be cost effective, being that I know a little bit more of this story, but that might save you some dollars too.
Yeah, it might save me a lot of money. However, I'm also willing to pay some too. So instead of me struggling with some of this stuff, if I hire somebody to either do it for me or get me in the right direction and then pay the things that are a little more complicated, then I save myself time, money, aggravation, and
I was going to say all the angst and
because I just wrote down I just jotted down some voice notes before we started this, and the first word was relief, which kind of sums up all of everything underneath that. It's just like the pressure's off. I have a trajectory now. I have somebody who I think can help me, and I'll probably be able to do some of this stuff on my own, or if not all of it. So as long as am being open, being honest, and bring that version of me to the city with the things that I need to resolve, I should be in an okay place.
Yeah. And when we do that, I mean, I can hear that the stories is different to what I shared, but there's this level of once you just go in as you, then it's actually okay.
I don't have to be the criminal.
No.
And they would want the same things resolved too. I know this file sitting on somebody's desk somewhere.
Buried under a bunch of other files, no doubt.
I think according to AI, it's referred to as a zombie file. So it's like half dead. So I have to resurrect that one plus share another one. However, just having somebody to talk it out with and to move forward with it is comforting and empowering, which is really helpful.
Yeah, once we are willing to step in, and I mean, I guess I was kind of, the environment forced me to do it. But once I stepped into the community, which was going through the arch, that made all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That, so not only do you need to make the move in, but it's really helpful when you've got someone at the other end actually going, yes, it's okay.
But I think that stems from the openness, right? If I wasn't willing to drop my guard down and be able to ask for support and help, then that's not there.
Yep.
And it doesn't help for me to be to keep a mask in the presence of trying to be open, because it's counter vibrational.
It's counterproductive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's counterproductive because, and I think that in my experience, people pick up that anyway, because they go, well, you said this thing, but now you're giving me off all these signals that say something else. And you can read that in someone.
Yeah.
So yes, you have to be willing to lean in 100%.
Yeah. So there's value in not keeping the mask up. It gets hot under there, and the sweat and the eyes, and you can't see right.
It gets very uncomfortable.
Awkward. But the thing is, I think I got, comfortable is not the right word, but that's where I felt like I had to stay.
Well, there's a fear that it's going to be uncomfortable if you lift off the mask, right? Because we get comfortable with that mask on. We get comfortable with the way that we've dealt with it before, or that we haven't dealt with it, quite honestly. So in your case, it's like, oh, I just haven't dealt with that yet. But we get comfortable with how to live with that discomfort.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so that becomes comfortable, ironically.
The avoidance, because avoiding it is somehow easier to a degree, but for me, the pressure just continues to mount behind.
And as we get different stages, like different things in life that then put a bit more pressure to go, actually, I want to do this third project. So how do I make sure that so that I can do that? So we kind of get these different. So for me, I was quite comfortable getting professional member, but I wasn't 100% comfortable getting to CSP. So I had to but then there was a greater desire to do it. There was more reason why to do it than reason not to do it.
I think, okay, so we're on the same wavelength. I didn't think of it this way, but yes, I had similar set of growing whys. And it's as I got more information, I started realizing that, there's more to this. If we ever wanted to sell, those issues have to be resolved. If there was a fire or something, that stuff wouldn't be covered. So why would I saddle Julie with this extra stuff if for God forbid I'm not here? Like, it's not fair to them, or if I was to knowingly just not do anything about it. And then we recently, Julie was at a party recently, and she was talking to an insurance agent because she's friends with one. And then she started raising these things that are like, you need to tell the insurance company that you have a pool. You need to tell the insurance company that you have a dog. You need to, like, this stuff was like, it threw me for a loop. Like, a dog? I need to call the insurance company to tell them I have a dog. That seems borderline ridiculous.
That's interesting. I can't say that in Australia we have that to that level. I mean, I do work through a broker.
Makes sense to me, I guess. I just hadn't thought about it. But the dog was like, okay, so there's other reasons why, and the whys kept piling up. And now Julie's losing sleep because the insurance company doesn't know about the pool. And I'm like, okay, I have to put steps A, B, and C in place before we do that. But at least I'm doing something about A, B, and C now. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's huge advantages in dropping that mask and just moving on, and acknowledging that. So part of it for me was acknowledging that I still felt the imposter, and I shared that story on that weekend with a couple of people, and they're like, "Really, Chris? You still had that going on?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did." And there was
yes, I still do.
There was something good about acknowledging that and just going, yes. Allowing others to hear that they too might feel like that and still do it anyway, and see when the change occurs, because I think that can happen. Let's not stop that imposter syndrome or fear of what might happen, or whatever the stopping thing is that makes you put that mask on. Mm-hmm. That can still exist while you take the mask off. I just had to be comfortable with still feeling the little bit of imposter, taking the mask off anyway, and leaning in enough for that imposter to just quiet and write down. But that's, so I expect you still have, in your story, you still have fear of what that's going to mean and how that looks like and what has to happen and all those things.
Oh, there's still lots there. And I'm sure the mask will come on and off, on and off, on and off. But now at least I know I have a few people in my corner who I don't need to have it up for. So at least there's a willingness for me to drop it, to accept some things and to try to move forward with it. And hopefully that helps me feel better dropping it more often for more things.
Yeah, it certainly makes it easier. And I have also found that I've taken that acceptance lesson and I've now moved it into other conversations that I've had since that. And I've had a client, for example, who I've worked with for many years, who's not working with me, but just not in the same way. And I just went, I'm leaning into acceptance here, not trying to hold on to what it's always been like with them, and just letting that move and feeling quite about it. Like, sure, I always love to support people. However, if it's going to change after so many years, then it's going to change. And I can't. So I've just kept that acceptance. And it doesn't mean that I'm being fake about it. I just am accepting what's right in front of me and being present with that and not trying to hang on to the past or not hang on to what I thought the future would look like, which allows me to just keep being present with what it is right now. So it makes it easier.
Yeah, a lot easier. I also see this as a benefit for my kids too. So if they get a chance to see that it's okay to let your guard down, you don't have to be macho this or be strong, don't cry, like all that stuff that we're taught that isn't supportive.
I think that, I see other people who sort of drop into survival mode because they've just got to put one foot in front of the other. But as soon as they let someone in, just anyone in to help support with that, the load is suddenly shared. And we just need to keep sharing the load. And it just becomes easier.
Yeah, that's the other part of this. It allows other people in to help. And before it was all on me. At least that's how I had internalized it. Yes.
And for me, it was, I still felt like the imposter. But when I let others in, let their congratulations in, their actual acceptance of, no, you're here now, that made the difference. So I stopped I stopped my imposter and let their voices be the louder version.
And I see it's part of your name now. It's your third name.
It is. It's letters after my name.
CSP.
CSP. Yes. It means not a lot to anyone outside.
It means nothing to me.
Yep. I get that.
I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thanks.
You earned it.
Thank you. But it does mean something very significant in the speaking industry. So, yes, I will continue to put letters after my name because I can.
Cool.
And it shows. It's me being proud of me.
Right, and that's kind of why I highlighted it there. Right, it's like you've really taken it and accepted it as part of you now.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
It's in now. No turning back.
I was going to say, you can't stop me now.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Parting
Excellent.
thought.
So there we go.
Parting thought.
Let others in. If you find that you're struggling because you've got a mask that you think you should be wearing, just let other voices in. Invite them in, and they will help drop that mask.
And I guess I would say find somebody you trust and start small.
Yeah, and it's okay if that mask keeps coming back on, like you said, and then it can drop off again.
Give it a chance to breathe a little bit and see how it feels.
Yeah.
And it might be uncomfortable at first, but if you find someone you can trust to do that with, try it there. And then put it back on when you go back out. Not every day is Halloween. All right.
Now that's a good, I love that. Yeah, let's leave that there.
All right. Take care, everybody.
See you soon.
I assume we'll talk again soon.
I'm sure we will.
All right. Bye.
All right. See you then.